Did you know that the Dusk's Flight project was an idea that I've had all the way back in high school? It was only a few months ago that I actually finished the short project. That's a really long time, and was it worth it at the end? Let's just say it changed my outlook on future projects, my relationship to animation as a medium, as well as think about things that I would probably never do again. Hey guys, it's Toniko Pantoja, and first let me just say Happy New Year. Congrats on making it to the year of 2023. That's a huge feat of its own. We went through a lot of stuff in 2022, myself included. 2022 for me was a healing year. I was actually spending more time learning about myself and learning how to cope with it. I feel like for me it was a year of acceptance and embracing what I already have. This year, I also finally finished that long-term project I've been working on, Dusk's Flight, a 6 to 7 minute short animation project. And around this time, I sort of do a reflection and sort of assess my goals and wants in the future, reflecting about the future of my projects, the YouTube channel, and what I'm going to prioritize. All I can say is that things are looking promising projects-wise. And I'll also talk about considering things that I won't do ever again, based on my experience on the last big project that I just finished. So first of all, for a very long time, I've always wanted to make a short proof of concept trailer for Dusk's Flight, a story and possibly show idea that I've had for many years. I wanted to make another proof of concept that wasn't just fancy shots in a sizzle reel, that were all disconnected scenes. Kind of like what I did with the Dream Bandits trailer, but something that shows a bit of narrative and there's a scenario taking place. I wanted to establish who the characters are in the story and the direction of the story that I wanted to go with. I wanted to show some key moments, some amazing visuals to show off my animation skills and capabilities at the time, and to tease a story that makes people want to see more. I wanted to make a proof of concept that felt like the early Japanese Little Nemo anime, where the proof of concepts, because there were multiple, were just random scenes that took place at a random time in the story, teasing future scenes. Like I said, this is a story that I've had many years, and the short of the proof of concept was actually a product of something that I started many years ago, all the way back in high school. I had a version of it in my heart as a teenager, and there are early attempts of me trying to animate the story. I dropped it because I was going to start college, and during college I tried to start a version of it. Again, got too busy with school. Sometime after graduation, I started animating shots and a version of the trailer. This was around 2015 or 2016. I dropped it because I didn't know where I was going with the project and the story, and the story that I had in my mind kept changing. That's just a part of human growth. Between that time till 2017, I was trying to brainstorm another short film idea. I wanted to make another short that would be Oscar qualifying, hopefully to get nominated and maybe win an Academy Award. This was a separate project that's not related to Dusk's Flight. I was trying to write that one while at the same time pitch Dusk's Flight as a show. But as you can tell, that went nowhere, and a lot of people in development told me that there were just too many dragon-related projects going on. But there were personal reasons which I should share. One of the main reasons why I stopped on the animated trailer was because I didn't know how it was going to end. Another main reason was that every time I looked at the work that I did previously for the project, from a couple of years back, I wasn't happy with it. It wasn't good enough. I kept comparing it to works of my friends who were doing really good in their craft and their career, and the comparison made me want to give up. I eventually gave up on the project and abandoned it. And during that time till, let's say, 2021, I was working on other projects. I finished the Dream Bandits trailer, I finished the City of Secrets trailer, and I was also really busy with my job. There was this chip on my shoulder that loomed for a long time. For many years, I started and abandoned this project. Multiple times by now. It was one of my ambitions to finish a short proof of concept that was somewhat emotional and, in ways, epic. Sometime during the pandemic, I slowly started to come back to it. I wasn't happy with the current style of animation from the earlier takes, so I decided to redo some of these shots, making the style a bit more updated. I wanted to go for a bit of an anime look to it, and as I was redoing some of the shots with more updated designs, the thought of returning to the project began to surface, and kind of giving me a glimpse of what a finished project might look like for this thing. I told myself that if I am ever to return to the project, I have to finish it, whatever the form it's in. I can't be a perfectionist anymore, and I can't keep comparing myself to other things, and to find a way to realistically end the short. I felt some things were still disconnected narrative-wise, so I storyboarded some new sequences and shots, and made some connective tissue between sequences. I even added characters and newer dialogue scenes, so I got to explore character acting chops and some action scenes here and there, and to work with other voice actors. Speaking of which, yes, I started thinking about getting voice actors, so I reached out to my friend Lauren Singer, who started a network of audio talent to work with productions that need audio talent. I told her the overall story of Dusk's flight, of what I had in mind, and the type of voices I was looking for the projects. She gave me some great recommendations for the voice actors to work with. Lauren voiced Sarah and her dragon form. I animated the dialogue scene much later since I wanted to do all the non-dialogue scenes first to be finished with that animation. While the actors were doing their takes, I was just doing scenes that did not need voices. Realistically speaking, I was just going to do the first half of the Dusk's flight. Short, introduce Logan, Sarah, the little action scene that ensues, the dragon transformation, and them ending up in the fantasy world, and that was just going to be it. However, I decided to reuse the work that I did for the past years to be used as fillers, just to tease what the story and world would look like if I explored it even further. In between these shots, I decided to animate some newer shots to be connective tissue, and to match some of the dialogue given by the voice actors, just to shed on the story a bit. I knew that I wanted the heart of the story to be between the brother and the sister, the boy and the dragon. So I animated new shots dealing with those two main characters and sort of the arc that they're going for. I initially wanted to give limelight to all the characters, but I think that would also make it harder to finish the project and to take the focus away from the main story I wanted to tell. And yes, I know that I've gotten notes on the dialogue being super cheesy and whatnot, but I think it was the fastest way to come up with dialogue that just made everything a bit clear. So of course I had to go for something that was super obvious and super cheesy. So yeah, I managed to finally finish the Dusk's Flight short, which is a product of years of work, with me setting myself to finish the actual project back during the pandemic. Now, I have to admit, I was slightly disappointed that it didn't get much eyes or exposure as I would have hoped, knowing that I spent the last 2 years trying to wrap it up. Other animation projects that I've done got more exposure and praise, and even though I've learned so much, and to become at peace with what I've done with Dusk's Flight, there's still a part of me that feels disappointed because I put so much of myself into it. I also went through a lot of life drama. It is a truly personal project. However, I learned a ton working on the project. I understood my pipeline better. I leveled up my skills in drawing and animation, and starting to get into my writing chops. The first attempts are always frustrating and it's always not that good, but hey, we all start somewhere. I also learned some new techniques along the way, and now I want to use the things that I learned for future projects. At the end of the day, I showed up and finished the project, even though I got a few nitpicky criticisms here and there, or some people not liking it at all. Well, that's always going to happen no matter how much work I put into anything and no matter how much time passes by. What matters most is, I did my best at the time, I told myself I want to finish around this time and I can finally put it all behind me. But this also made me think about the things that I won't ever do again because of a project like this. Not by myself anyways. Moving forward after doing a project like the Dusk's Flight short, here's what I would like to do in the near future and things I would never do again. I'm going to be focusing on making more stuff and really looking into my own independent animation studio. Brushtail Works is actually incorporated, so I want to kind of figure out the identity of that corporation. I'm not sure what the studio's projects will be, but I want to explore different ones to figure out the studio's identity. Knowing the rough place the industry is in right now, as well as the bullshit AI drama that's going on, it just makes me more inspired to invest in the independent community of animation. I plan to make more projects, but more budget-friendly ones where things are more economic. I also want to explore more on writing. Since I feel like I'm an individual who can only help out on other people's ideas, I want to make more projects even if it means sacrificing production value so I can explore different stories and ideas. I'm also going to give myself more flexibility in doing projects that aren't perfect, so it allows for more experimentation. If I want to do more ambitious projects or, production heavy like the Dusk's Flight short or even Dream Bandits or City of Secrets, I'm definitely going to reach out to other artists and other talent and pay them so I don't have to do 90% of the work. and that I can find a way to have a more life-work balance situation. The thing is, I don't want to be a perfectionist. I think just by finishing things, I can give myself more opportunities to level up for the next project. Not many people can say that they finished a 6 to 7 minute fully animated short. And a few of these people are the types of people to criticize other people's projects, but not having done anything by themselves. Again, I don't think I would consider doing another heavy animation project all by myself, unless I found a way to be cheap and super economic. But I think that calls for more projects and more experimentation. As for Dusk's Flight itself as a project, I might continue the story as a graphic novel, I'm not sure. Now, giving some form of advice for a video like this is kind of hard because this was truly a personal journey. Like, I learned a lot of things doing it this way, but I don't really recommend it for everyone else. If you just want to get something done, I would avoid redoing things all the time. I think having a lot of flexibility in your time, your deadline, and being a perfectionist can work against you. So have an idea of when you want to be done with something and just stick with the current state of the project and just try to wrap that one up. Because if you move on to another project, maybe it's related to that, then you can take what you've learned from that experience to the next. I don't think I would have ever finished this version of the Dusk's Flight project if I didn't want it to be done by fall of 2022, and I was willing to make shots that were cheaply animated or did not take a lot of time at all, meaning I had to sacrifice a bit of quality. I also knew there were storytelling issues or narrative issues, but I had to work with what I had. I think the more stuff I work on, especially for personal projects and both industry related work, and mind you, I've been in productions that have been canceled outright, and that's work that I'll never be able to share with you guys. I'm leaning towards the side of just getting things done and out of the way, and then learn from those experiences for future projects. But I don't think I would have learned to value this because I had to go through of redoing stuff all the time and going through procrastination. And that's going to be my plan for 2023. Big projects will spend more time writing and developing, smaller projects will be done in a more economic fashion. And so far it's going good because I've already boarded 5 shorts based on these stupid dog characters doing stupid things and allowing myself to be an idiot. And it's showing me that I can finish a season of a web series on my own, which is crazy. If there are bigger projects that are ready for animation productions, then I will start hiring talent and form a team. When it comes to the independent side of things, I'm still unsure about what I can bring to the table. So I need to explore that without being driven and motivated by the vanity and the monetary side of things. I've learned to value community more. Again, thank you all for supporting the channel. I hope I can still make educational content, but I also want to explore more on the creative side of my own voice and to be a part of an amazing community. Anyways, that's all. Bye. Interested in learning hand-drawn animation or learning how to finish an animated shot from beginning to end? Have a look at the store where you'll find the complete Introduction to 2D Animation video course, tutorials, and other resources. Learn classical animation approaches, drawing, lectures, techniques, and other process videos. Visit the store through the link in the description below.